What's up YouTube? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're breaking down the top 10 best loaders in Warzone 2 right now, after the Season 2 Reloaded update.
Grip the heat, make man freeze when I let that breathe. Watch the handy teeth like a baby. Pre-mat samurai sword move crazy. Baby, listen, I'm crazy.
These guns are in no particular order, by the way. These are the top 10 guns that you should be using, but they're not in a particular order. These are my favorites as well, by the way. So if you have a different gun that you think is way better, just leave them in the comments and tell me why. So the first gun I want to talk about is the TAC V. I've seen a lot of people using the RPK, but this is probably the best gun after the RPK, straight up, because the gun has insane headshot values and it's kind of hard to control, but when you get used to it, the gun melts. So yeah, this is the TAC V. As the muzzle, we use the SAC Infrared 40 for the recoil control, the vertical and horizontal, the COMMANDO FOREGRIP for recoil stabilization, high velocity rounds for bullet velocity, 50 round mag because you need 50 rounds, and the optic of your choice. In this video I'll show you guys 3 optics, and I have a bonus one. The first optic that I preferably use is the CRONEN Mini Pro, which is basically the blue dot from previous Call of Duties. The second optic is probably the one everybody uses and which I recommend using as well. That's, let me see, we will run past it. It's the Aim Up V4, because this optic gives you less visual shakiness. The second optic that I recommend using is the Schlager 3.4 times. It's basically the VLK. Even though this is the VLK, this one looks way cleaner with like the T-pose reticle from back in MW19. And also I think it's this one where JGod made a video about it. Shut up, JGod. You have a thermal scope, so if people pop a smoke you see them through thermal, but if you want to turn it off you just press L3 and it turns it off and you can just see normally, which is very OP since everyone runs smoke to rotate out. Okay, so as a secondary, basically you'll see as pistols as a secondary just the X13s. All pistols got nerfed, the P890s, the X12s, and I think the Basilisk snake shots as well. So most people are running the X12s. First attachment, the 1 MW pistol laser for recoil control, I think. No, it's hip recoil control, sprint to fire time, and you get a laser where you're pointing at. The FT Steel Series fire suppressor, hollow point rounds, 33 round mag, and of course akimbo. This is the weapon tuning with it. Recoil smoothness and bullet velocity. With the hollow points it's recoil smoothness and recoil steadiness. Laser can't be tuned, mag can't be tuned, and akimbos as well. So the second gun that we have is the gun everybody uses in the game. It's the RPK, but this is a different RPK build than that everybody uses. This is specifically built for longer ranges. I've got 2 RPK builds in this video, which is an aggressive one that everybody uses, and this one. This one I kind of made it myself. It's like more built for long range. As a muzzle we have the Polofire S. It's for just the best suppressor in the game in my opinion for ARs, LMG, snipers. As an underbarrel we don't use the Commando as in with the one that I use on most guns. We use the Lockwood Precision Grip, which makes the recoil pattern a bit different and easier to use with the optic that I have, which is the Schlager 3.4 optic. This one we tune for aim down, sight and far, like I explained previously. We have high velocity rounds instead of a barrel. The barrel gives you a slight increase in recoil control, which in my opinion is not needed with the RPK since this gun just doesn't have recoil. And the high velocity rounds give you more bullet velocity than the barrel does. And as the rear grip, you use the TrueTech grip for more aim down sight speed. The tuning for this is aim down sight speed and bullet velocity. For the underbarrel it's hip walking speed and aim down sight speed. High velocity rounds is recoil smoothness and bullet velocity. And for the TrueTech grip it's aim down sight speed and aiming stability. And as you can see, for like longer ranges it's way more visible to see. Like with the Aim V4 optic, at longer ranges you hit people but you can't see them, and in my opinion it's very valuable to see them. And as you can see, the aim down sight speed isn't that bad. Secondaries, X13s. And like I explained with LMGs, I mostly run fast hands so I can switch them faster. Okay, so the third gun is the RAL, which is probably the runner-up as an LMG to the RPK, and probably the LMG that everybody will use when the RPK is nerfed. As a muzzle, we have the FTAC Reaper. You can also use the Bruin Agent 90, but this one gives a little bit more control and bullet velocity. As a barrel, we run the 26.5 inch Demo Field Pro barrel for damage range and bullet velocity. You can also take this off and put on the high velocity rounds and put them on fully high velocity and damage range. Just practically the same for like almost all of these guns. The optic, the AIM Op V4 optic, just the basic optic. Underbarrel, the Demo Narrow Grip. The RAL has different underbarrels than the other ones. And this is in my opinion the best one because it gives recoil stabilization and gives the least amount of negatives. And the rear grip, we have the Bruin Q900 grip wrap for, I think, aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. And just the same with everything, X13, smokes, drill charges, fast hands, and high alert. The other LMG I have in here is a gun that's been slept on for a while. It's the Sakin LMG, which is like, in my opinion, more of a hybrid between an AR and an LMG. It's kind of faster and feels like an M4 in my opinion. The muzzle that we have is the Custovia DX90 for recoil control bullet velocity, and it doesn't take away damage range with some of these do, like the Echo Line GSX. The barrel that we use right here is the Bruin Silver Series barrel for bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil control. Underbarrel the Commando, optic the AIM Op V4, just the usual, and the rear grip the same as the Bruin, the RAL, my bad. The Bruin Q900 grip wrap for aim down sight speed, and this is the tuning. Aim down sight speed, bullet velocity, recoil stabilization, and aim walking speed. You can also do it for aiming idle stability, but aim walking speed makes the gun a bit more aggressive, which is what I like. For the barrel, recoil steadiness and aim down sight speed. The rear grip, aim down sight speed and aiming idle stability. And the optic, we put them on aim down sight speed and far. Same as I explained, fast hands, X13s. So the first AR that we have right here is the TAC 56. The first thing I want to point out is this is the one of the only ARs that feels nice with a big optic. Like most ARs have a lot of recoil with a big optic, but in my opinion the TAC 56 just has such a clean recoil pattern that I was able to use the Schlager, and which makes the gun feel way nicer. This is also the gun that I dropped my PR with, which is like 30 kills with this gun. So yeah, to start we have the Equalus 80 muzzle. We have sound suppression, bullet velocity, damage range, and recoil smoothness. Commando foregrip underbarrel, high velocity round, 60 round, and the Schlager. The tuning, aim down sight speed, bullet velocity, recoil stabilization, and aim walking speed. High velocity for I didn't tune this one at all, but you can do recoil smoothness and bullet velocity. 60 rounds, and the Schlager for aim down sight speed and far. Like I said, with ARs I like to play a bit more aggressive. That's why I have restock and high alert and double time. So for the first sniper, and the only sniper that I have, it's the Signal, which is the gun that makes the "all my milkshakes brings the boys to yard" sound. This is the only sniper in my opinion that's actually like kind of viable, because it has a lot of bullet velocity and you can shoot fast. The muzzle we have is the Bruin Counter OPS for damage range, bullet velocity, sound suppression, and recoil control. The barrel that we have is for recoil control and bullet velocity, the 23.5 inch SA50H7. The FFS Oli V laser for aim down sight speed. The FSS Echo stock for aiming idle stability and recoil control. Then you have a 7-round mag, because since this sniper is semi-auto and not bolt action, you run out of bullets very quick. So the tuning for this is aim down sight speed and bullet velocity. For the barrel we have recoil steadiness and aim down sight speed. The laser can't be tuned. The stock, aim down sight speed and aiming idle stability, and the same goes for the mag, it can't be tuned. Okay, So the first SMG that we have right here, which is in my opinion now my favorite SMG over the FANEC, is the Hipfire MP5 build, which just gives me so much nostalgia to like the first 6 seasons to MW19's Warzone. To start out with, we have the L38 FALCON 226mm barrel for aim down sight speed and movement speed, which makes you run around faster. The Point G3P04 laser for the hip fire accuracy. The Merc foregrip for the recoil control and the hip recoil control. 40 round mag. You can use the 50, but it takes away a lot of the mobility. If you don't care about the mobility, use the 50, but I like to run around quick, that's why I use the 40. And for the rear grip, the Lockman TCG10 for recoil control. Tuning, aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, hip recoil control, and I've put it between aim down sight speed and hip fire accuracy because I like to play in between both. I like to hip fire and ADS, but if you put it fully on ADS, your hip fire goes down, and if you put it on fully hip fire, your ADS goes down. So I like to be in between. 40 round mag and aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed for the rear grip. Okay. For this one I use bird's eye for the aggressive play to see where the people are on the map. The second SMG that we have right here, the gun with the fastest TTK in the game, the gun that's been around since day one. It's the FANEC, the most boring gun in the game, but the gun fries. As a muzzle we have the FTAC Castle Comb for vertical and horizontal recoil control. I don't use an underbarrel or a barrel because this gun is strictly for close range. Instead of that I use the hollow point rounds. I don't see anyone using it, but in my opinion it's busted. When you hit someone in the legs, it stuns them for running away. So for example, when I shoot someone in the legs and he's trying to run around the corner, he gets stunned, so he cannot sprint, and I can catch up easier to him. Since there's no movement in this game, you can catch up way easier like this. 45 round mag, which is extremely needed on the FANEC, it burns out of ammo instantly. Agile Assault 7 stock, sprint speed, aim walking speed, crouch movement speed, aim down sight speed. Don't use the no stock because it gives way too much recoil. And as a laser, the VLK LZR for aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. The tuning, vehicle stabilization and gun kick control, damage range and bullet velocity, aim down sight speed and aim walking speed, and that's it for the FANEC. Okay, so here we have the second last gun. It's the aggressive RPK build. This is the build that everyone uses. It's the best gun until it gets nerfed for now, because this gun doesn't have any recoil. At 4 or 5 taps at any ranges, this gun is just disgusting. For the muzzle we have the Polofire S, underbarrel the FTAC Ripper for the recoil stabilization. It gives a bit more than the Commando, but it also takes away a bit more aim down sight speed. High velocity rounds, True Tech Grip for ADS speed, and an aim up V4. For the tuning, a bit towards recoil smoothness and 55 plus at bullet velocity. FTAC Ripper plus 54 at recoil stabilization and plus 15 at aiming idle stability. I don't want to put it fully on aiming idle stability because I like my gun to not be static, so I can just move around a bit quicker. High velocity rounds, recoil smoothness and recoil steadiness. True Tech Grip, aim down sight speed and aiming idle stability. Aim up V4 like always, aim down sight speed and put it on far. And for the last gun we have, it's the AK, which is practically the RPK but with a 40 round mag and a bit more damage until a certain range. This one feels a bit quicker and is also more friendly with using a sniper. So for the muzzle we have the Polofire S, the same as the RPK. The Commando grip for recoil stabilization. Here we do have a barrel instead of the high velocity rounds because this one needs the recoil control with it. The AS10 584 millimeter barrel. Damage range, bullet velocity, hip fire accuracy and recoil control. Optic, the CRONEN Mini Pro, aim down sight speed, put it on far, and 40 round mag. Aim down sight speed for the muzzle, bullet velocity, underbarrel Commando foregrip, recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. For the barrel, aim walking speed and aim down sight speed, and optics same as always. So these were, in my opinion, the top 10 guns to use. If I would give you one class 3 guns to use if you have a backpack to use right now. It's the RPK with the FANAC, and as a third gun, take the sniper. This is by far now the best build in the game, and until the RPK is nerfed, you won't see many switches in the meta, because the RPK is just disgusting. Once the RPK gets nerfed and the FANAC, I'll just make a new video about the best guns in the game, and I'll be right back at you. For now, have a wonderful rest of your day, and peace out.